Hello class 10. Again I am here with the revision video on the chapter called Sectors of the Indian Economy. So in my previous video I discussed with you that how unemployment or underemployment which is present in primary sector and can be reduced, and what government has done to create more employment in primary sector or primary related sectors, agriculture, tertiary sector. And today I am going to explain that what is the reason behind the rising importance of tertiary sector in production. Already I have made videos on these topics, but this is the revision video which has been made only to help you or to revise you, let you revise the topics which have been taught, and in a single video you can get the information on various topics. So what are the rising importance of tertiary sector, and what are the how it has become dominant and playing a dominant role in our economy. So we have seen that in the last 40 years, from 1971 to 2021, 2019-20, that production in all the three sectors have increased a lot, and it has increased, but larger or greater increase can be seen in the tertiary sector or service sector. So as a result, what we see that in the year 2010-11 or in the recent years, the tertiary sector has emerged as the largest producing sector in the country or in our country India, replacing the primary sector. Previously primary sector was producing the largest share in the, or contributing largest share in the GDP, but now what we see that tertiary sector's production has increased a lot and it has become the largest contributor in the GDP. So what are the reasons that I will discuss with you? Then second, classification of economic activities as organized and unorganized, and what criteria have been used to classify the economic activities into public sector and private sector. Okay, so let us discuss the reasons. What are the reasons behind the increasing importance of tertiary sector in India? Reason number one is the growth in population. As we see that the population of India in these 40 years has increased rapidly, and we were only around 30s in the year 1950s, and now we see that our population has crossed 1 billion mark, and we have become 1,037 crore. And due to rise in population, the growing population, they required the services like schools, colleges, institutions, post and telegraph, police station, courts, village, administrative offices, banks, municipal corporations, etc. And therefore this can be considered, these are the basic services which people require to live a proper life. So in a developing country like India, government has to make arrange these services. For the provision of these services, government has to take responsibility, and government, most of these services are provided by the government, because in a democratic country government has been chosen for the people, by the people and of the people. Now, so that is why the tertiary sector has grown rapidly, because of these services, rise in these services. Number two is the development in the other two sectors, in primary sector and in industrial sector. due to development or production, more production in primary and secondary sector for the growing needs of the people, the services, the demand for services, transport, communication has increased, and in this way we see that the primary sector or secondary sector production has increased the demand for the services, transport, communication, banking, etc. And that is why tertiary sector has grown rapidly, or its importance or dominance has increased. Now next reason is the rise in the level of income. People's income due to liberalization and globalization and many more things have made the people to earn more, and due to rise in income they are asking for better services, they are asking for better facilities and more products that they are started using. So that is why tertiary sector has grown rapidly. Fourth is the improvement or modernization of the services and or delivery of services based on information and technology. So due to rise in information and technology, and the services based on information and technology has increased its production or delivery, and that is also the reason behind the growing importance of tertiary sector. But what we see that all the tertiary sector or the people, they are not they are not growing in the same way, or they are not getting or their life is not improving in same way. There are two different types of people, those who are engaged in tertiary sector. One who has more better skill and education, they are able to earn more, but those who have no skill or little skill, they are self-employed, and they only become able to earn when they have the work, or means their income is not regular. So in this way what we see that still most of the people, they are employed in primary sector, and that is why, because of more dependence, because of the several problems in primary sector, the per capita income or the productivity of primary sector is very low. Now second division that I am going to discuss is how the economic activities have been classified into organized and unorganized sector. So the criteria is, of course, the terms of employment or the employment condition divides the activities in which people are engaged and they are earning their living into two sectors, organized sector and unorganized sector. What do we mean by organized sector? Organized sector are those sectors which have been registered themselves under the government, and government has control on it, and they follow certain rules and procedures to appoint the people, to employ the people. And what are the things which are present in organized sector? Number one, the salary is higher than the unorganized sector. There is job security, means once the people have given employment or they have been employed or are given appointment letter, they the conditions are written on it, and they retire after completion of a certain age. So there is job security, means once you have got job in an organized sector, in a bank or any other factory or organization, railways like etc., which is run by the government or which is under the government's control and registered themselves, they follow the rules and regulations of the government. So there is job security, and the workers have no fear of losing the job. They feel ensured that once they have got the job, now they will retire after completion of 60 or 52 or 60 or 58 or 62 years of age. Third thing which is present or in organized sector is the working hour is fixed. or it is less than the unorganized sector. Means they reach the office at 10 and they leave the office at 6:30 p.m. And when they stay for more hours, they are paid overtime for this. And they get their salary also on regular time, or at the end of the month, a certain date, the salary goes in the account. So, and salary is also better than the unorganized sector. Next thing which is present there, besides salary, the workers or the person who are employed in organized sector, they get medical, they get gratuity, they get pension, and other facilities are also. Working environment is also very good, and atmosphere is good. There is no fear, no exploitation, and then provision of the services, etc. And they are bound to miss in the workplace. There are certain more things which are given to the workers, and but in unorganized sector these things are not found. The salaries are less than the unorganized sector. There is if some of them have registered themselves with the government, it is only on paper. They do not follow the rules and regulations, and the workers, they do not get their salary on time. No given or fixed time schedule is followed here, and worker, there is no job security in unorganized sector. Means workers, they are always in fear that any time they can lose their jobs, and workers' jobs are not secured, and besides salary they do not get other benefits or extra facilities. No medical, no paid holidays or leaves are given to them, and when they stay for more hours, they are not paid overtime, and no pension, no gratuity, etc. So these things are, and the working atmosphere is also not very good or conducive. Sanitation facilities and mess facilities are also not necessarily present there. So in this way, what we have seen, that workers in organized sector, their jobs are secured. They follow the fixed time schedule. They go there and leaves the office at a given time, and when they stay for more hours, they are paid for that extra work. And besides salary, which is given on time, they have no fear of losing their job, etc., etc. Now, third division which has been done of economic activities, which we have already discussed in the chapter, is on the basis of the ownership of resources. कि sectors in terms of ownership, कि on the basis of the ownership, कि who owns the resources or the assets of production. And if it is owned by the government, or if it is under the control of the government, then the organization or the activities are called public sector. And when it is owned by individuals or some group of people or privately, then it is called private sector. Examples are railways, post office. These are public sector departments, and privates are Reliance Industries, Tata, Telco, Tisco, and many more, those who are operating and selling their products. So the main difference between public and private sector is, in public sector, the main objective or the motto of production is to increase the welfare and not to earn money. But in private sector, the main objective of the company is to make money, and if the company's profit is decreasing, then they will shut down and they will stop producing. So we have seen that public sector units, or the means those areas, those things, those provision of goods and services in which more investment is required, those type of activities or work is done by public sector or the government. Government does means provision of schools, so that the literacy rate can be increased. These are done, and provision of LPG, provision of food items from the ration shops, PDS, etc. These are the example of public sector departments or units. Railways are then and private sector, but we all know that public sector can't fulfill the growing demands of this larger population. So government has to support and encourage the private sector and provide them cheaper inputs so that they can continue the production and fulfill the growing demands of the people. In my next video, I would continue the topic how the public sector or public facilities are important to increase the welfare in the society. Okay, thank you.